Remember this? When we did that checkers game thing? And each side had certain things they had to do to make moves? Guess what? That was a constitution. Whoa! Nobody thought it was a constitution, except I did say that it was. Because a lot of you and a lot of adults think a constitution is a list of laws. No, that is not what a constitution is. Or people think it's like a list of things that people can do, like regular people like us. No, and it's definitely not the thing that declared independence. That crinkly document that's on the wall in my classroom. It's a rule book. That's what a constitution is, even if it's not in a book. Don't worry about it. It's the rules that a government has to follow. It's like what the leaders in a government, it's the rules for them. It's not for you and me. That's what a lot of adults don't understand. But hey, you're watching this. You're going to know. This is the meaning of a constitution, okay? It's the rule book. It's what leaders can do, and it says what they cannot do. Let me show you an example. Here's one, the U.S. Constitution, and don't worry, you don't have to read the whole thing. This part tells how the U.S. president gets elected. That doesn't matter for you and me. We're not trying to get elected. We're not trying to be president. This part says what the court system, the Supreme Court, can do and what they don't have power to do. This part is about like who can declare war. That's not about you and me. These are the rules, right? The rules for how this country's government operates. And another country can have their own way to get elections or courts or declaring war. Ours has a way, has the rules for how this constitution can get changed at different times. Now, there is a part, some of you are kind of right about, there is a part that limits what the government can do to people's rights. But that's about the government. So see, all these things are limiting or they're giving power to the government. And right here it's of the United States. But when we did the checkers game, okay, right? Like we had this rule here, this part of your constitution about saying what you could do with the furniture arrangement. And then all of you ignored it. Oh, well, okay. Here's this part, right? This was kind of your way of like how to declare war, because checkers was kind of like war, sort of, right? This is how you could make all your moves. So it's kind of like this, right? Like the US Constitution had these rules for how decisions could get made. Get it? You get it? Rules. It could be rules about, these are some details here, details you can add, right? It's the rules about how laws get made. It rules about like what the jobs are in the government. And again, it says what leaders can do and what they cannot do. It's not for regular people like you and me. It is not the laws that you and me have to follow, like speed limits. There's nothing in there about going to school, okay? It's about the people who are in the government, what they can do, what they cannot do. So, like, right, like examples, right? We have obviously the US Constitution. Greece had one, Rome had one, the Meiji Empire of Japan had one. I could go on and on. Massachusetts, state of Massachusetts has a constitution. Sometimes they're not even written. I'll try to show you, hopefully, an example of Native Americans had a constitution. Great Britain, like England, has a constitution that they don't really have like written down. It's kind of weird. But it's still the rules for how country government or even a state can go. Okay, you got it? Really, really important what a constitution is and what it is not. The Constitution says what kind of government you've got. So sometimes it gives for a democracy. And democracy comes from Greek words saying krasi is for power, demo is the people. All right, so kind of like these people all like working together here. So you can have that picture in mind. There are two kinds of democracy, okay? There's a direct democracy. That's what the black team was when we played the checkers game, because whoever the people are get to vote. You don't really have like leaders in this kind of thing, right? There's no election for leaders. It's direct. The people have direct power. Like, look in that picture there. They're all like moving the letters around together. That requires time. When we did the checkers game, this is the side that took more time, and they had to do more communicating, maybe with like meetings and things like that to make it happen. That's one kind of democracy. The other kind was what the red team was playing under. Don't worry, I'll get to that picture a little later. So this is when the people don't all make decisions. They elect other people to do it for them. When we played in class, we only did one person just because the teams were small and I had to do it that way. But in real life, it's really always more than one leaders. And then each leader is representing a number of regular people because not all the regular people can get involved. So you got to have elections. You got to give the leaders time to campaign and try to persuade people. When we did this in class, sometimes it took a few seconds, sometimes it took a few minutes. And in real life, of course, it usually takes days, weeks, months. That is the difference between a direct democracy back here and the republic here. So in this case, pretend these people were elected, and there's a lot more people that we don't see in the picture that chose these, I don't know, letter carrying people, whatever. Okay, so that's two forms of government, really, really important ones. But there's more. So, like, pretend, yeah, like these are some examples of a dictatorship. If we did this in class, maybe it's the swan. Maybe I would take over and I'm going to make your moves for you. Because in a dictatorship, there's just one person in charge, the dictator. And there are different kinds of ways these dictators can get power. In the picture there, you've got Adolf Hitler on the left, is probably the most famous one, Joseph Stalin of Russia. So they get power in some kinds of ways. Sometimes they even get elected, but they limit people's rights. So really, it's just one person in power. And it's not really clear how to replace them. That's a problem of dictatorships. Another kind of way, right, is like a monarchy. So we've got like King Charles over there on the left, King of Britain. So this is when you have a royal family that's in charge. So you don't have the people in power, and usually the royal family used force to get power. So kind of like sort of like a dictatorship. But now there's a family, so it's really clear who's going to take over. King Charles there had to wait until he was almost like 80 years old until his mother finally died. It's kind of a gross way to get a job, right? But at least we know how a monarchy works. Until maybe another family takes over with force to kick out the other royal family. Okay. I didn't really know how to do that for checkers, right? How could we do that? There's no way. We only had one class period, and none of you have children, so that would be kind of weird. But the next kind, okay, so if we had like an oligarchy, that's what China has. The middle picture there is ancient Sparta had this kind of government. So imagine if we had like 3 students doing this, because it's like a group dictatorship. So what if you picked like 3 students on the red team and they're in charge the whole time? It's a small percent of people and they have all the power. Okay. They don't do elections. They just keep the power to themselves and they decide who gets to be picked next. That's the way you could do this form of government. And the Constitution would protect those small percent of people who have all the power. And one more here. Again, I couldn't really figure out how to do this as a checkers game. This is when you have a theocracy, is when religion is in charge. Theo, from Greek meaning religion. Krasi means power. So a religious group is in power, and they set the laws based on their religion. So we have had that in Christianity. Christians, like the one below, we've got a religious person giving a crown to the king or emperor. And on the left, we've got it in like Muslim in Iran. There's this kind of government. So these are different forms of government that you could compare with each other. So here you've got a group, which is kind of like an oligarchy, kind of different, right? Because of like how and why they're running things. Yeah, an oligarchy is kind of like a dictatorship. The dictatorship's kind of like a monarchy. So make sure you've got those things straight. Okay. One more thing. Just got to make sure here. Capital letters matter. Okay. Those lowercase letters really, really matter because people are going to try to fool you. Republicans, capital R. You're going to think they want a republic and Democrats want a democracy. That's not it. No, no, no. No, 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 no. That's not what it's about. These are just like brand names, guys, okay? They're just using these forms of government to fool you. And you do not want to get fooled. Okay? So, like Mountain Dew, does it taste like the dew, the morning dew on a mountain? No. It tastes like lemon gasoline, in my opinion. Okay? It's just a brand name. Supreme. Slapping a Supreme sticker on something does not make it better. It just means you spent a lot of money. Okay? So, democratic, like lowercase d, just means a government that's powered by like democracy. And it might be direct democracy, but it doesn't have to be. And Republican with a lowercase r, that means you've got representatives, regular people electing representatives, Republican, lowercase r. Don't let people fool you, okay? So these Republicans and Democrat parties, they want to fool you. They're just brand names. Be better.